Aloha everyone, Joshua Hayes at bigwavetrading.com. Just wanted to make a video for the social media and YouTube community going over the overall market, and then also wanted to show you I still have some stocks, winning positions that are working. Just want to review a few of them with everyone to show that when markets are good, a strong stock will keep going higher. And even though that I've been basically cutting losses left and right on a lot of recent positions and a lot of old positions, locking in my final profit stops, there are four. We're going to review four that are still moving higher, that are still bucking the overall trend of the market. So I want to show you why you never just sell completely out of all your positions if you do have a working position. But before we get to there, like I said this weekend, this market does not look healthy. We looked like this when I made my video lesson, and I said the 3 EMA was still below the 9 EMA. I have negative Madrid trend squeeze indicator and a negative TSV indicator, not only on a daily, but I got that negative TSV on a weekly. The M trend is starting to go negative. And let's not forget, the monthly time segment volume on the SPY has been negative since September, and it's been like that on everything. IWM has been negative even longer on a monthly basis. The DIA and the QQQ have all been negative for a very long time, and I will remind everybody, if you did not watch my weekend video, to please watch it. When TSV is trending higher and M trend is going in that right direction, those are your sweet spots. So like right here, sweet spot, right here, sweet spot, especially on the monthly time frame. And when the monthly overlaps with the weekly, oh yeah, that's your time that I get heavily long, bigger size, on margin, and hold it overnight with confidence and conviction that things will work. When the monthly charts look like they just did, when my weekly TSV looks like that, and then my daily looks like the way it is now, I only want to go short the market, buy puts on the SPY, and I tell you what, that was my game plan heading into today. If we opened up at whatsoever or gapped higher, the game plan on the SPY for me was to get short or buy puts is what I was looking to do. Normally 1 week out is the furthest I go out. Shorter term always if I expect quick moves, with the move below yesterday's low a day. And if the market, damn it, didn't gap down, never completely backfilled and move lower, there's nothing I could do. I just want to show you right now, the SPY, you can see here on the daily, 3 below the 9, red, red. The QQQ, 3 below the 9, red, back to being red again on the daily. The DIA, 3 below the 9, red, red. And the IWM, this is the index I always want to see lead. And when it looks like this, yikes. I have no interest in this market right now on the long side. 3 below the 9, red, red. So just keep that in mind as we move forward. Another potential negative. It's not the cleanest uptrend line, but I want to show you that when this line first started here on the SPY, we had a reversal hammer bar off the initial trend line that I'm drawing from. Doesn't matter back then. It is what it is now. You'll notice when it came near the trend line, reversal, reversal, hammer, small reversal here, reversal, reversal. There is no tail today. So if we get below that downtrend line, especially if we take out this lows, our next obvious price objective are these lows right here. And then, I know it's hard to see, but this is technically a gap fill area. I believe here the high is 55. It's only by 7 cents, but it's still technically an unfilled gap in the SPY down to about the 276.50 area. So keep that in mind moving forward. There's no reason to be a hero here in this market. Members of Big Wave Trading know whenever things line up, I let you know. And whenever I stop taking small long positions, 1% here, 2% there with super tight stops, and I really open it up where I put 5, 10, up to 20% of my capital into each new long position, I give it more room to work. We are nowhere near that area. And I want to show you with an example why we're not quite there yet. So MANH yesterday, it gave me an add signal, but I didn't like it. I shouldn't have taken it. Should have followed my instinct. the volume bar is wrong here. Telechart, their data provider, just sucks. So I go and I review it on other multiple data providers, FinViz, eTrade Pro, Trade Ideas, StockCharts.com, TradingView, and I see volume is heavier in the session before. BOP confirmed, volume confirmed, candle over candle. I looked at stochastics, RSI, MACD, my time segment volume, and M-trend squeeze indicator, and everything lined up. So I went ahead and threw an order out there, despite there being a little gap here and the stock being extended from the 5-day moving average. I normally do not take extended trades when they're above the 5-day moving average. But since MANH is an add position, as you can see, the initial long signal I took was here, kind of holding up, but barely. I went ahead and decided to add to it. That being said, it still has to trade up and through 85.19 to trigger my good to cancel buy stop limit order at 85.20. Sadly, that happened today, and look at what happened. Immediate reversal. So my initial stops on this add signal, I had 50% here, 50% here. Following this session, I immediately consolidate them all the way up to this low day here. And since I do have about a little over $5,000 in this position, I am going to go ahead and, even though it's splitting hairs, put 50% of my good to cancel sell stop at 83.41 and the final half at 83.02 with MANH. So this just proves, hey, it's still not time to try to buy stocks in this market. Now, that being said, I want to show you some stocks that are working. First off, let's look at HOV. HOV, you're going to see where the white arrow is here. This is wrong. I would never go long a stock when it had lower, below average volume than the session before. This was the long signal this day. Candle over candle, heavier above average volume, another move and bop back to the max green level. It filled the next session, didn't add it to my list to the next day. So that is a little off, just to let you know. But the trigger was 1650. Good to cancel buy stop limit order at 1650. Trades up and through it. I'm long. The next day I'm long HOV. And somehow, despite this market, it's been a steady riser. So as you can see here, 39% gain in a little over 2 weeks. So there's even some good performing stocks in this bad market. But I wouldn't buy them now. But just to show you, HOV, let's say if I just got nervous and I was like, yeah, I don't like the way this market's looking, I'm selling all. Well, that wouldn't have paid off because now HOV is up 39% in 2 weeks. I'll tell you how I'm doing it, though. If you have a large position as a member of my website, there's your uptrend line. A close below the uptrend line, you'll get completely out of HOV. Now, me personally, I have 25% of my stops here, 25% there, another 25%. I believe it's right here because there's a little bit of gap between that space. And then my final stop is right there. So I'm willing to take profits on 3/4 of it, or actually about half of it. But remember, if it starts selling off on heavier volume or losing green bop, as you're going to see, I'm going to raise stops. I'm not going to wait around before it ever makes it back here to my final stop. But I'm willing to give it room to work because it is working. The next one I want to review is ORGO. Here's one that's done nothing but work since getting long. Here was the long signal. And as you can see, doesn't fill the next day because it has to trade up and through $5. It does it on this day. I'm now long ORGO. And as you can see, it's been a steady move higher. If you want to know if you are long with me, where you could get completely out for the majority of your gains in this now weakening market, there's your uptrend line. For me, I've just been riding it the whole way up. But you will notice something. Do you notice how the balance of power has switched to yellow here? That means I immediately have put 50% of my good to cancel sell stop 1 cent below the 10.4 low a day. I then have 25% there, and my final stop for now is right there to ensure that I leave this trade with gains, even if it reverses. But EDAP, that's a 49% gain and a little over, wow, what is that? 1 month, excuse me, ORG. We're going to review EDAP after this. I'm looking at the wrong one. So ORGO up 49% in 1+ month. Tell me you wouldn't like to have those gains under your belt. Granted, I wish I loaded up and could tell everybody, hey, I put my entire account into this. Trust me, in this tape, that didn't happen. So it didn't. But still, a 49% gain in 1 month is a 49% gain. Then I want to just show you the recent long position that's working out. This was the original long signal. It gapped up, never filled. This was the second long signal. This one filled, hence the white arrow. This was also an add signal, but sadly, EURN gapped up, nothing to do. Following this day, I put a 20% day market sell order for the next session. That happened Monday morning. That being said, EURN is still moving higher. There's nothing to do for me except for just keep trailing my stops. I have a profit stop here, a profit stop here, and for now, since I didn't get filled on this one, my final stop is here. So I'm already out 20%. 1, 2, 3 stops on EURN. Isn't up by much, but still, even in this market, a 10% gain in 4 days, I'll take it. Shippers are hot. I would love to say that I got NAT, NNA, DHT. Trust me, I did not. There was no logical entry, safe entry point. The only one that looked not extended and strong with no flaws was EURN on this day. Missed it. Add signal, got filled. Another add signal, no fill. Still moving higher. Nothing for me to do on EURN, up 10% in 1 week. And now this will take us to our final stock I want to review that's working, EDAP. Now, we could go into a big, long discussion. EDAP was an actual add signal for me here, and it was an actual add signal here, but due to the market environment, no thank you. Didn't call it back on. Looks like it would have worked out anyway. But what I want to show you is it's not always smooth sailing. So let's go back to the original signal on EDAP. You can see hammer candle over candle, above average volume, max green bop, and the key to make this a new long signal, it closed at 332, higher than where it opened. So the good to cancel buy stop goes at 336. EDAP immediately pulls in, but at some point intraday, I got an alert on it, called it back on once it got back below my 336 level, and it triggered and filled this day. Closed kind of weak, but still, never hit any of my stops. Came very close on this day because 295 is my stop. Bam, knocked me out of half of it. So now I'm out of half of EDAP, but it's still fine. Where was my final stop on EDAP? Because the market wasn't looking too terrible, all the way back here for a potential gap fill. Instead, I now have half of EDAP from the original position. So as we move forward, EDAP starts to work, but it doesn't work too well. And then following this signal, big reversal. So let's do a hypothetical situation here since I have my Interactive Brokers account closed and I can't go look at it. If I bought 100 shares here, following this session, I have 50. Following this session, I immediately start consolidating stops. Of that 50, 25 go there. The final 25 go right here. Don't want it to get back there. Bam. Now I'm out. Now I only have 25% of the position. But that being said, nothing has changed since then. And on that final 25% of the position, EDAP is now up 45% in 2+ months. And because this was basically flat, and this one was for losses, even though it's only 25% of my position that remains overall on the trade with EDAP, because the win right now on this 25% is so much more than the loss on that 50%, overall on the entire trade, I have gains. But if you don't want to be as tight with stops as me, and you decide following this session here to put your final stop here, you're still in half of EDAP for that 45% gain. So I just want to review that despite the market, there's still some good stocks. They're not triggering right now, and I don't trust or have any confidence in any of the signals as of this moment. But when you're cutting your losses on all the losers at 1, 2, 3%, or barely taking small losses, and then you get a nice 39% win in HOV, a nice 45% win in EDAP, a nice 49% win in ORGO, and currently a 10% gain in EURN in 4 days, it makes up for all the losers. Using my methodology, you could technically just be right half of the time, and you should be able to make a nice living if you have the right account size and or grow your account exponentially in good markets. If you remember the beginning of the video lesson, this is not a good market. When it is a good market, you better believe I'll know when it is, and I'm going to let everybody at Big Wave Trading know. And also, if I happen to make a YouTube video, I'll let the YouTube community know at the time I make it. All right, everyone, just wanted to go ahead and show you that there are still some strong names out there. Doesn't mean you should buy them now. They're all extended. Wouldn't touch them. Looking to take profits. I don't know about this market, so be careful out there, everyone. Cash is king. Aloha.